Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. Well, what a roller coaster ride this has been for me and the rest of America over what happened yesterday with President Trump. I prayed for him. I prayed for his family. Can you imagine his family, especially his 18-year-old son that saw the blood coming out of his father's face on not national, worldwide television? I can't imagine what the Trump family is going through. The rest of the kids are all adults. They know, they probably thought about their father could be the target for an assassination. They, especially with all the rhetoric that the Democrats, even all those Democrats, he's an existential threat to democracy. When he gets elected, he's going to take all our rights away. Women won't be able to get an abortion. All of this bullshit that triggers these types of people. Today, we're going to be talking about comparisons. And we're going to talk about some comparisons. Now, you guys, don't be thinking I'm comparing myself to the greatest president that ever lived. I'm not. I am going to compare myself with incidences that we went through. And it's going to sound like bullshit, but it's not. And I can prove it. Donald Trump and I are about the same age. He's 8 years older than me. We were both raised in New York City. We both look alike. When I was promoting these books, I did what's called a national book tour. I was on television. I was on the radio during drive time, and all the disc jockeys had a copy of my book, and of course, my face was on there. And all of them said, "Oh, he looks like a baby Donald Trump." That's what they used to say. Look, we got the same Trump hairdo, same color eye. Take that as a compliment, and I always did, because I always admired Donald Trump. So things that happen in my life are unbelievable. That's why there's books and movie deals that are coming my way right now as we speak. I want to talk about one incident. Okay, so let's talk about shootings. If you go back in my video, there's going to be back on the channel 2 years ago. There's videos of me putting my key in my door and being met with a hail of gunfire, bullets coming all over me. Almost, when you look at that video, you're going to see, though, if it wasn't for 1 millimeter of the bullet striking a post on my porch, I would have had my head blown out. No doubt. You could see where it hit the corner of the bullet, the beam, and deflected, and what do they call it when the bullet broke up? It fragmented. That's what it did. There was 7 or 8 bullets that went my way, all headshots. I could stand there, and that's one incident. So I know what it's like to be shot at, and I've been shot at many times. Bang, 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 bang. Well, if you don't feel anything, then it doesn't count. That's the way I always looked at getting into gunfights and shit. When you didn't get hit, you knew it instantly. As soon as you hear the pop, you didn't get hit. I actually, when I was shot at my door back in 2017, and we have photographs of the police there. I mean, it's all on that channel. I forget what it was. Daniel, I thought it was my ex-wife and her mob connections that did it. But anyway, it's one thing to be shot at and not see or feel the bullet. Okay. September 6th, 1972, while being transported from Rikers Island to Elmira State Penitentiary, where I was to start my sentence of 4 years. Elmira was a reception center in Elmira, New York. So I don't want to get, there's a video of it. Here, can I see? All right. So when did this video? Okay, so we did this video September 6, 2022, on the 50th anniversary of my great escape. Now, you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with Donald Trump and what just happened yesterday? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. As I said before, when you get shot at, if you know instantaneously they missed because you don't feel the bullet. But in this case, I escaped and I was being chased down by a New York City correction officer who was transporting me to Rikers Island. I escaped. I'm not going to get into how it happened. You can go, it's a 3-part video. It's really a pretty cool video. This video, not only was I on television that day, because there was a shootout in a town called Endicott, New York, 40 miles from Elmira. I was 40 miles from getting to my destination when I made my move, and I escaped not once, but twice. They got me once, and then I escaped. It was unbelievable. Shots were fired all over the place. So I want to talk about, this is just unbelievable. But again, I did this video 2 years ago. So for all you guys, hey, he's full of shit. I'm not full of shit. I don't have to be full of shit. I can't be any more truthful. On September 6th, 1972, while in a shopping area, Main Street, it was on Washington Street in Endicott, California, Endicott, New York, where it was back to school. The next day it was school, and all the parents were out behind it. The street was filled with people, and this fucking cop is shooting at me. But he shot at me 6 times, emptied his .38 caliber revolver at me 6 times. While I was running down an alleyway, I'm running down this alleyway, and there's a brick wall in front of me. And just before the brick wall, there was a driveway that led back out to Washington Street. So I'm running down the driveway. At the end of the driveway is the brick wall, and then there was another driveway that exited right back onto Washington Street. I don't want to get into there's 3 videos you could watch. As I'm running, the cop is firing. Kevin, stop! Bang! And I could see the first or second shot he fired hit a van. I didn't even know this until in 2022, one of my viewers, her name was Kathy from Massachusetts, didn't believe me, and she started investigating me, and sure enough, she found the newspaper article. I always thought this incident took place in Ithaca, New York, but Ithaca is like 400 miles away from Endicott. So I thought it was Ithaca. It was Endicott. That's why the fact checkers, when they tried to fact check this story, they almost didn't put it in, because I told them I was on television when I got to prison. I was in the infirmary and I could see myself on TV. I was like a little celebrity in prison. Everybody was like, that motherfucker, they could see me on TV. And of course, every correction officer, when they came on to duty, they'd always have their newspaper. And there was, all the newspapers was about this escape and what it meant. And you can, I actually put up the newspaper as I'm telling the story in this 2022 vlog that I did. You're going to be able to see it. So now that we all believe that this event happened, and I talk about it. So now me and Donald Trump have one more thing in common. A bullet went past our right ear. We both have it in common in what it's like. Now, the bullet that was fired at me was from a .38 caliber handgun with a 6-inch barrel. Smith & Wesson is what they carried, the cops back then. That bullet travels 950 feet per second when fired through a 6-inch barrel. The barrel length has a lot to do with bullet velocity. It has a lot to do. I bet she's surprised that I know all of this stuff. I was in the Marine Corps. I know about guns. That bullet went by my right ear so fast, it sucked the air. I heard it, just like President Trump says that he heard it, whizzing. It's just, I guess, is that breaking the sound barrier? No, I don't think it is. I don't know. Is that breaking the sound barrier? You guys out there, what's the sound barrier? I think it's 2,000 miles an hour. I don't know. I don't know what 950 feet per second. But so when the bullet goes back, two weird things happen. You hear it. I heard like some screeching, and it sucks the air out of your ear canal. It sucks it out. Boom. And then, of course, unlike President Trump, there is one photograph of the bullet. They freeze framed it, and you could see the bullet streak going by in one photograph. And that's what triggered me to want to come on and tell this story about what that feels like.
Bullets can break the sound barrier because they can move faster than the speed of sound.
Yes. Okay. So my bullet, a 38 caliber, travels 950 feet per second, fired from a 6-inch barrel weapon. Now, we already know from reports that this kid, this Gen Z, Gen Zs, I don't know, the people, the way they, that's why I don't want my kid going to college. I want my kid to be an entrepreneur. I don't want my kid getting brainwashed. All these kids get brainwashed by this democratic ideology. Where was I? So my bullet's traveling. So now there's eyewitness accounts of the shooter, this 20-year-old little piss pot. That got his brain split in half the way they're talking. The eyewitnesses saw the bullet hit him from the Secret Service, and we're going to talk about the Secret Service and how they failed, how they failed in this whole thing. Okay, so that bullet, I'm running towards the brick wall. Bang! I felt it, and then I saw it. That's the difference between my shooting and President Trump's. I saw it. I heard it. Bang, saw it take a chunk of brick concrete out of the wall, as I did the rest of them. Bang, bang. He's yelling, Kevin, stop! Bang! Bang! And he's aiming, and the freaking bullets are all eye level. I'm running, and I'm not seeing them shoot up there, hit the wall up there. I can see how close that came to my head. It was trying to kill me. So let's talk about President Trump incident. And in a way, I'm glad that it just nicked him enough to bring blood, to show the world what kind of animal would do that. What kind of animal? Because as I said before, if you're shot at, bang, bang, and they miss, it happens so fast that you don't realize really what happened. But when you hear it, and when you hear it whizzed by your ear, let's go back to when I did get apprehended, I was saved by Intercot police because the 3 correctional officers wanted to kill me. They threatened that they were going to kill me once I got back in the car, and they were going to say I escaped again and blow my brains out. That's what they said. I was so shaken. My ear rang. My ear, I can't wait to hear President Trump's ear ring. It had it buzzed for 2 hours. 2 hours. I had to try to, it sucked the air right out of my ear. Now, eyewitness accounts has the shooter climbing up on a building, which he should have never been able to do. That building was 750 feet from where Donald Trump was, on an elevated, perfect shot. Nothing could get in his way. Why weren't the Secret Service on that building? Why weren't they on that building? And after the shooting happened, why did they screw around and listen to the president about putting his shoes on when they should have swished him away? That's what they should have did. But they didn't do any of that. Is that a conspiracy there? I don't know. They actually propped him up. They hit fuck the guy's head. He was going, yeah, fucking, boy, what balls he has. What balls he has. Let's talk about, so the eyewitness accounts. I know I'm all over the place. This is a very emotional time for me, as I'm sure it is for half of this country. Uh, Half of this country is, he was seen, the shooter, the piss pot, the Gen Z piss pot, was seen on the building. Witnesses were trying to call the police. Nobody, I think he was up there for 2 or 3 minutes before he started shooting, and everybody's yelling, up there, and nothing happened. This is all going to come out in the investigation that is going to follow. So the weapon was described as assault type weapon, M16, which there's 223s, there's different calibers. But let's go with the 5.56, let's go with the 5.6 millimeter round that most of those guns have. They travel 3 times faster than the bullet that went by my ear. They travel at 3,250 feet per second. That's like 3 times the set. Is it 3? What's this? What is the sound barrier? Is it 9? Like, anyway, it touches him, and I know what it did, because it happened to me in the same ear.
Says that it's 767.
3 times the speed of sound. That bullet that went past President Trump's ear traveled 3 times the sound barrier. 3 times. I can only imagine. It sucks where that thing is going. Like I said, in that one photograph, you could see it go right through. You could see the trail right through. Luck. Luck is when you win the lottery. What luck is. Boy, I was lucky. All the odds were against me winning, but luck, I won the lottery. That's luck. What happened yesterday was not luck. It was nothing less than divine intervention. If you look at the video closely, you can see where he actually jerks his head to the right, like sidestepping the freaking bullet. Our Lord's hand just went boom. Nope. I want to make this an issue. I want to see what half of America is truly like. Is truly like. This is only going to put more divide in our country. I have such a disdain for anyone that would call himself a Democrat, especially after what happened yesterday. If you tell me you're a Democrat, it would be like when the KKK was in business. Yeah, I'm in the KKK. That speaks volume of what you are. You're a racist. You hate people. You're anti-Semitic. That's what you are when you say so. To be part of the club called Democrats, I wouldn't want to wear that badge one bit. I'm a proud American, a proud Republican, and I support and love my president. I've never, with the exception of my dad, I've never loved a man and respected a man and looked up to as a man that I have Donald Trump. And I never met him, but I know he's all about us. Yesterday, he proved that he put his life on the line to save America from this demon, Biden. He did. He doesn't need to do it. He's a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need to be dragged through courts and trying to persecute him, put him in jail. Imagine putting somebody in jail that's completely innocent. That trumped up charge in New York is the way the judge acted and you could believe part of this story, and there's no crime. And any crime that they could have been was long. The statute of limitation ran its course long before he went to trial. Today, so YouTube. I love this platform. I met a lot of interesting people on it through comments and even got to meet them personally. This morning, I got an email from a guy what is it, Beeman? Charles Beeman. Charles, where does he live, baby? What is it? The,
Grove City, Pennsylvania.
he lives in Grove City, Pennsylvania, and he was at the Trump rally yesterday with his family. Rose from where President Trump was. Almost got murdered with his whole family. And he wrote me an email explaining what it was like being at Ground Zero. And then that's when I started thinking about the comparison. You know, when I was shot at, and the bullet that left the barrel of that assassin's weapon was traveling high velocity. When that bullet hits, just like when if you look at the President Kennedy assassination, when a bullet hits and it's traveling at such a velocity, 3 times the speed of sound, it just explodes. Your brain goes out, as they described the shooters. It's a devastating round. Had he not did that, we would be planning his funeral, and the Democrats would have won. How can you Democrats be proud of what you represent? You represent chaos, and it's going to be put to an end. Now, if anyone ever had any doubts that President Trump will be the next president, well, then you must be smoking a weird brand of crack, homie, because this just solidified. He's a martyr. He's a living martyr right now. The way everything he did, boy, you know, but then I go back. He's got balls of steel. Well, what about his 18-year-old son, Byron? Just a kid, just graduated from, you can see my eyes, I've been crying all night. Because what's going to come next? His son, Byron, 18-year-old kid, very smart kid, have the world. Imagine being that kid and not understanding fully like we all do. And and the kid is like a genius, but he still lacks life experience like us older people do. He's going to be shitting in his pants, worrying every time his father goes anywhere. What about the Trump family? How we all have to pray for them. We all have to pray for them. I just wanted to thank Charles for your comment. Boy, it really hit home. Reading your email, I haven't even responded to it at this time, but I am going to respond to Charles's email. You could read it in the comment section. It's up right now. I just wanted to bring that. So like I said before, when you feel it go past your ear, and I can't even describe what it feels like a vacuum sucked the air right out of your head. My thoughts and prayers go out. I think it's 1 person dead, 2 in critical condition. One of the spectators was sitting in the line of fire and got hit in the head and was killed instantly in front of his family. Thank you, Democrats. Proud of that. When this guy's firing, the crowds surround the president. They're behind him, they're to his left, they're to his right, and he's facing them. To fire a weapon, even if you wanted to kill 1 person, okay? I want to kill this guy. He raped my daughter. He did this. You want to kill him. You want to kill him. Who in their right mind would fire a high-powered weapon when the backstop is all innocent people? Young, old, babies were there. This man, Charles, he was there with his entire family. Who does that? For politics? Who would take a gun and knowing Now, the other thing that really is bugging me too, he was 700, they put it in yards, but he was 750 feet from the president, perched, shooting down, nothing can get in his way. Secret Service, why didn't you have a sniper up on that roof? Why didn't you secure that building? How was he allowed? And for 3 minutes, people are calling, hey, there's a guy up there with a gun. Should have removed the president right away. Secret Service? I mean, and then the other part that really pissed me off is that apparently the president's shoes came off and he's saying, no way. And then he cared so much about the American people that he wanted to make sure that he was all right. Fuck that. They should have snatched him up and ran him out, not knowing whether now on the radio you can clearly hear shoot it down. But how did they know there wasn't more shooters? How did they know? They didn't know. And then they're waiting, they're dressing him, putting his shoes on, and then his head's out. Unbelievable. Secret Service, you effed up. You effed up. I hope to God it wasn't on purpose. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. He's the only choice for the 47th president. Here we go. God bless everybody. I'm sorry if I rambled on, but I just wanted to make that comparison of what it's like. And like I said before, Trump's got balls of steel. He's a man's man. But what about his family? Everybody, his family love. He doesn't come from the dysfunctional family like the Bidens. They got a crackhead in their family. They got a guy that after their brother dies, he's having sex with that one. And then when he has a baby out of wedlock, the president of the United States says, oh, I only have 7 grandchildren when he has 8. Or I don't know the exact, but he disowned that beautiful little girl. That tells the story about what those Democrats are really all about what he's about, and what everybody else, knowing that, just knowing that alone is enough for me not to vote for that guy, Democrat or not. Get with it, Democrats. You got to vote Republican. Save our country. And with that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.